It's a 16 buff in the dark of It's a 16 buff in the dark. It's a 16.
It's time. No way! That's gotta be Lucky. How funny.
That's awesome.
That's going on the farm gate, or on the garden gate.
That's super cool.
That is too funny. Well, it's finally that time of year. As you saw earlier in the video, we had a family member come and help make this garden bigger, and he even did all the hard stuff for us by tilling it up. So yeah, yep, we've got a bag of potatoes, a wagon full of starts, and tons of seeds. So we're about to make it happen. Dad's gonna be doing that. Our first row's corn, so let's get it planted. And then there we go. So we're gonna take it out first. Just try to slowly. I know, I'm gonna end up crushing one of these probably. Ooh. No, especially. Oh, you got it out really nice. Good job. It's one of mine, not looking great. You just want to put it into that row, and then you're just gonna pull stuff around it. Okay.
No, Richie. Yeah, no, Richie.
Okay, guys. Dad's watering, and I think you gotta mute this. But we're still out here. Well, here we found stars and a beautiful sky, because it's not that beautiful. And we got windows for the house. You can't really see them, but this is okay, right? Right? But you can't see that.
So this is definitely a massive jump forward from the last clip to where the garden is now. I ran out of battery when we were filming planting the corn, and during that, not only was it like 76 degrees out, we were getting sunburnt, but then all of our pesky chickens started coming over and getting into everything. So it was a mad dash panic to get these posts in the air. It was a mad dash to get the posts in the ground and some fencing around the garden to save everything. So what we did was we got the rest of the garden, the corn planted down here. We got the rest of the corn planted down here. I have some herbs still sitting in buckets that I need to get into the ground. But we have the corn plants, and then I did tons of corn seed. And then we have our bean plants with a ton of bean seeds. And then I just used some grass clippings to kind of mark that area of where has been planted. There is like gonna be a footpath that I'll do with some straw around the edge. That way we can get in a couple feet from this side and then again from this side. I like to do the type of gardening where I don't have a footpath in between every single line of plants, because as long as I can reach in 2 to 3 feet from each path, then I get to use more of the garden for garden and less for footpaths. Over here I did onions, and they do go right up to the fence. So this one does have where I will have a footpath, a very slim one right here in between the onions, and then I've got some herbs at the end here into peppers here, and then tomatoes at the beginning of that. And then I'm about to plant everything in the center here. And then at the very end over there where you can see some mounds, I did potatoes, and I did just buy some seed potatoes. I usually just do my own that have kind of grown the little sprouts on them. And I did plant a ton of those, but I wanted a little extra, so I did go buy some seed potatoes. I don't know if they're any good, but we'll see. We did an archway like we did the first year, so I did plant birdhouse gourds and loofah gourds on this. We've got our cucumbers, and I did cucumber seeds on the other side. Our amazing, awesome rhubarb that does great every single year. And then all of this, I didn't even do a single pathway other than the one right here to get to the cucumbers. This, I just did an insane mess amount of pumpkin seeds. We were gonna do a separate garden of pumpkins down by the animals, but then realized now that we let them free range, that probably won't last. So our pumpkins are gonna be on this section of our garden, and I'm just getting ready to plant around the outside, do some sunflowers. So we did go and pick up some things from the store last night. Like I said, I did get some potato seeds. This is the first time I've ever bought seed potatoes. I always just kind of do up my own by getting potatoes that we like and then letting them kind of sprout. These have like insanely long sprouts on them, so I'm not really sure how great these are gonna be, but we're gonna try them. I believe they ended up both being the red potatoes because that's literally all that was left. Seed potatoes go quick. I knew I should have bought them earlier. But again, I had a giant bag of my own, so I didn't really care. I also went ahead and got myself a basil plant. I have tons of basil seeds that I'm gonna plant, including this purple basil. So I'm gonna still plant a bunch of my own basil, but I just thought that was a nice big one to start, and I love basil, so I went ahead and did that. This aloe plant was on sale for $2, so I decided I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna plant it in the garden, let it get really big, and then I'll put it in a pot at the end of the season. And then I went ahead and got marigolds. I like putting these at the corner of the garden, all four corners, because these are a really good deterrent for certain insects and animals to help keep them out. So I'm gonna put them at each of the corners. If I have enough, I'll probably put some right here at the beginning, or like where this entranceway is too. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I've got tons of seeds to plant. We're gonna do some tot soy, some carrots, some lettuce, sunflowers all around, more basil, and then like I said, I've got a pretty big chunk in the middle still that I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna do a lot of seeds, but I'm also gonna leave, oh cat, oh, you're mean. I'm also going to leave like an aisle or two open, just in case these next couple weeks, if we get somewhere and we see some good plants that are already started, then I'm gonna go ahead and get some of those. If someone has something different that we don't have yet, or just has a really good start of something, like if I see really big pepper plants or something, just because those take forever. So those certain plants are kind of nice to get a really good start on. So I will try to do a little bit better job at filming a little bit of this today if we can, but if not, I'll just show you each time when I'm kind of done with a section where I put it, what I did. But yeah, so let's start with maybe finishing up our potato row. So you can see where I already started the potatoes. We've got mounds all the way down on the one side, and it kind of came to here. So we're just gonna finish out best we can, see if we can get this aisle to go all the way back down there where the beans and corn starts. We'll see if we have enough of these seed potatoes. Be careful with taking them out because all their things have like gone through the little holes in the bags. Again, I've never bought seed potatoes. I don't know, maybe it's so late in the season is why they've gotten so crazy. So I'm hoping that they're still fine to plant. When I do my own, I like to cut them in half. Most of these look like their things are on one side, so I don't know if I'll be able to cut. Like this one, I think I can cut in half. Probably get a couple out of that one. This one I might be able to cut in half, maybe. I don't know. Most of these I think I'm gonna have to leave. So what I do is I just take a potato like this that has starts kind of everywhere, and I'm gonna cut it so that I can get some of those on one side and some on the other. So we'll see how easily this cuts. There we go. So that one's got a little thing on it. These each have some. I'm actually gonna cut that in half one more time. You wanna just be careful not to cut any of those off. This is really soft where I'm cutting, so this isn't cutting the greatest. All right, so we got 3 out of that one. So we're gonna go ahead and do 3 different mounds there. These ones, I'm gonna be able to cut these easy without stirring up the farm potato. So these 4, I'm just gonna keep full for planted. Try to put back here. A big reason I haven't done seeded potatoes before, or seed potatoes, is because it's like $5 for a bag, and there's 5 of these in here. For like $3, you can get a huge bag of potatoes and just sit it somewhere for a couple weeks and let it get a bunch of little sprouts on it. And the potatoes are way bigger. So I can cut and get like 2 or 3 basically seeds from each potato. And in a big 5-pound bag, I mean, you end up with such a, I did a giant row and a half with just the 1 bag of potatoes I had. And all I had to do is leave it somewhere that got a little bit of sunlight for it to start doing that. Where again, these, it's $5. You get like 5 or 6 of these in it. And some of them you can cut. Like this one I'll be able to cut in half because we've got one on one side and that on the other. But some of them, they're just too close to be able to cut it in half without feeling like you're gonna chop it off. That one I can cut in half. This one I'll go ahead and try to cut in half too because it's got a little start. So we'll get a little bit more out of this one, it looks like. Just trying to make a little footpath until I can get the straw down, but there we go. Potatoes all the way down. We'll see. Like I said, we have a row of the potatoes the way I usually do them, and then we'll see how the seed potatoes do, and if maybe I bought them too late in the season, or maybe they'll do awesome, and next year I'll buy some seed potatoes, but then still do it the way I do it because I like to. So we have this chunk of the garden left between where our tomatoes are and these are. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do basically our salad row. We're gonna have a bunch of lettuce, some herbs, and some carrots. I wish I would have bought another pack of carrots. So I'm probably gonna leave room to do some more of those because this year we have it tilled up so good that I think the carrots are gonna do even better than they did last year. So let's see how far down we can get with our carrots and add some other stuff. So with carrots, because you kind of just sprinkle down into everything, we're kind of just gonna make sure that this area is nice and deep with loose dirt. And I'm just gonna kind of see if I can go over and make it evenly kind of flat. And again, just make sure that I've got good loose dirt all the way through, because carrots want to be able to grow big, but you need loose dirt to do it. I don't know how far down my seeds are gonna get me. They do quite a few in a pack. Carrot seeds are teeny tiny. You do want to still try to spread them out best you can. They like to be kind of right at the top. Now I am just going to sprinkle them through the way I did last year. Carrot seeds are like lettuce seeds. They like to just be right on top. So I just sprinkle them through, and then I go through and just kind of rub the dirt around to make sure that they got kind of covered up. And then when I water them in, once I get done with putting the seeds in, that's gonna kind of push them down as well. You don't want them to be really far down. Again, that's with carrots and lettuce. So we're just gonna repeat that same process and do lettuce in the second half of this aisle here. I think I brought them in. I did. I got two types of lettuce. Again, I go to Baker Creek Seeds to get ours. So we got this lettuce that I'm not gonna pronounce. I'll just show it to you and you can read it. But it's just a nice green lettuce there. We also have this nice deep red lettuce. I really love to get these nice dark colors of lettuce. They just are so pretty. They taste so good. And then I love to get tatsoi. This is super hardy and it grows really well. And just like with the other leaf lettuces, you can cut it off and then it just continues to grow and give you more and more and more. All of these I got from Baker Creek Seeds, which is rareseed.com is where you find them. They do free shipping on your seeds. Their seeds are the cheapest anywhere around, and you get so much more in a pack than you do when you go to like the farm stores or Home Depot or anything. And what's nice is they're heirloom seeds. So they're seeds that you can save seeds from and actually get the true plant that you picked out. All right. There's our carrot and our lettuce aisle. So I am going to get some more grass clippings now and outline this so that I don't mistake it when I go to do the rest. I've got like one more aisle of my basil and my peppers that I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna leave the center one open for if I go grab some more like carrot seeds or some plants of like peppers, or I might even just put more beans because we're obsessed with beans. So more green beans might just go in the center as well. So let's go get the grass, get this outlined, get our last row done, and some sunflower plants and some flowers put in. And we'll be done for now. All right, I got this outlined in the grass clippings. I got a basil seeds into some hot pepper seeds, and then some more onions at the end because I did have some onions and I went ahead and used the rest of them. I got sunflowers planted all around the edges of the pumpkin patch area. We did the marigolds in the corner, so I've got them in the corner here and in the corner there, and all the way down at this other end where it's a little bit longer of an end, and it's the side where most of the wildlife would come from. I went ahead and spaced out my marigolds and did 4 at this end, along with some more of my herbs right there. A lot of herbs can be deterrents for bugs and everything too, so those are good to have near the ends. And again, I use the grass clippings for the edging because they'll just die out and become kind of compost for it. And I actually, once plants start coming up, like even just with these, I can start taking the grass clippings right up to the base of the plant. As long as you do a thin enough layer, if they're fresh grass, you're not going to burn out your plant. You don't want to do it super thick if it's really fresh grass clippings because they are going to dry out. You don't want to burn anything out. But if they have been like on your lawn for a couple days, then you're fine to put them right up to the plant. I literally just walk around and find areas that had long grass like this, where we've got some clumps of grass, and then I just collect it, and then I can just use it as mulch right up, like I said, right up to the base of the plants. And it's a nice organic mulch that keeps the weeds down and kind of provide a little bit of shade for the ground around your plants to help keep that moisture in. So I will start coming up and doing this the next time we do a lawn mow. So I've got plenty of extra grass clippings. I just need to water everything in now. And then the big job is going to be in the next couple days, I need to rake out one of our animal enclosures so that I have a good amount of straw and hay. And what I'll do is I'll go right along the edge on the inside of this with a really thick amount of straw or old hay to keep those weeds from coming in from the outer edge. And then long-term plan is to eventually cover the outer edge of this with rocks and hostas and ground cover, things that again will keep the grass and weeds from coming in. This is by far the biggest garden we have ever had. We are so grateful for our aunt and uncle coming over and bringing their tractor and scraping up a bigger amount. This has to have made it like 3 times bigger than what we had before. And I'm just so very grateful and so excited to see what's going to come along with this. Again, I have a really good sized chunk left still. We have this kind of front area right here, and then a middle row right there that I have, so I can go pick up a couple more packets of seeds. So I'll figure out what we want to fill in that with. Maybe I'll get some more carrots because those did awesome last year. But I didn't preserve them in the best way. I froze them, which is fine when you're going to use them for cooking, but they are soft when you thaw them out. So that's not great for like fresh eating. So you do want to just keep a lot for fresh eating in your fridge for that. And again, in our entranceway, this will be another area that's really heavily like with straw and old hay to keep the weeds down here. So it's a nice, good, clean entrance. And I can't wait until this is all grown up with things crawling on it. Yeah, and I did a lot from seed. So the thing is to try to figure out what coming up is weeds and what's your plants. Some things I'm not the best at right away, so I end up letting it get kind of weedy until I can tell in those areas what's what. But some things are really easy to tell when they first come up. What's your plant? What's the weed? So yeah, come along and see if I rip up the wrong thing or what grows good, and we'll keep you updated on what's doing good. So I'm gonna water this in. We've got a nice cloudy day, so it should let everyone get a good drink in before it starts to dry out in the sun.